Okay, I want to start off by saying this is not me trying to brag about how unbelievably attractive I am. I guess I'm just irresistible to the ladies. No, not in the slightest. I think if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you could guess that is not true. However, I do want to tell this story because it's one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me. And yes, this is a true story. So sit down and buckle up. Things are about to get romantical. This is the time an entire summer camp fell in love with me. This story takes place in the year of our Lord, 2019. So I'm 17 years old. At all the camps in my area, the age limit is 17. So I know this is my last time at summer camp. Once you turn 18, no more camp for you. You're allowed to work there, but that's it. I mean, come on, you're 18 already. Shouldn't you have your entire life figured out by now? You're an adult. Adults don't go camping. Silly. Besides this being my last year at camp, everything else is pretty much the same. We're all running around taking awful cold showers, getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, you know, fun camping things. However, something else was going on that I was not aware of until it was far too late. Every girl in that camp had a huge crush on me. I should start by saying I have no idea why these girls were so into me. I'm not particularly good looking. Let's take a quick peek, shall we? Short, skinny, pale, messy hair, ill-fitting glasses, terrible fashion choices, bags under the eyes. Yep. This is a classic case of basement-dwelling artist. I also doubt they were attracted to my personality. I'm a nerd with social anxiety who's terrible at romance. Picture Izuku Midoriya if he wanted to be a YouTuber instead of a superhero. That's me. Insufferable, I know. All that to say, I have no clue why anyone would be attracted to this. Although I can think of one thing that might have separated me from the rest of the guys. I was a little depressed. I'd been going to camp ever since I was 6 years old, and it was really important to me. Knowing this was the last time I'd ever get to attend, I was pretty bummed out the whole week. I think my quietness might have been misinterpreted as stoicism or maturity, like the strong, silent type. Little did everyone know, I am not strong, nor am I silent. I can almost guarantee if any girl overheard me info dumping about Naruto, I would not have been as popular. The only other reason could be that I was one of the oldest campers that year. The age range for that week was 13 to 17, and I'm sure being one of the older guys there has a certain allure to it. This isn't just one or two girls either. It was like several cabins worth of people. I'm not speculating. I know this for a fact because some of my female friends from school happened to be in those same cabins. After camp ended, they told me the insane stories that I'm about to tell you. So if you think I'm making this up, blame my friends, not me. That week, the first time a girl spoke to me, she was asking strange questions. Immediately, I should have had red flags going off and followed my gamer's instinct to say no to women, put up a hand, and walk away. But I didn't. I answered her weird questions. 5'7"? I have blue eyes. Harry Potter? Yeah, I've read it. Sure, Spider-Man's cool. No, I haven't done gymnastics. Why are you asking me all this?
Oh, me and the other girls think you look like a cross between Tom Holland and Harry Potter. Okay, bye.
Who was that? Other girls? What does she mean, other girls? People are talking about me? Why are people talking about me? Am I the same height as Tom? It's because of the glasses, isn't it? Is that a my glasses look bad? Goku would destroy Superman. This interrogation continues throughout the week. A girl comes up to me and asks me a question, I answer, and they fangirl because somehow my answer further connects me to Tom Holland or Harry Potter. To be frank, I still have no idea what they were on about. At the time, I thought maybe they had a bet, or it was some secret camp challenge. Summer camps can get really weird. Yeah! So I figured either this was some elaborate game or someone was pulling a prank on me. If you haven't noticed, when it comes to flirting, I'm about as oblivious as Cyrus Albright. If you get that reference, you have incredible taste. Octopath Traveler's a gem. Other than answering the occasional question, I made no contact with females. Of course, being summer camp, they discourage flirting of any kind, and I ain't about to break the rules. I'll stay well within my box, thank you very much. I only hung out with the guys in my cabin, and we just talked about, like, Avengers Endgame or storming Area 51 or whatever was popular in 2019. Little did I know, while me and my cabin mates were making outdated Vine references, the girl cabins were talking about me, and also probably making outdated Vine references.
I sure hope it does.
One of the female counselors got sick of it and asked them,
Okay, just by a show of hands, who here has a crush on Aidan?
Ugh. That counselor then made a rule that their cabin wasn't allowed to talk about me anymore because they wouldn't discuss anything else. Again, it sounds like I'm bragging. I'm really not. I wanted nothing more than to fly under the radar so I could actually enjoy my last summer at camp. Not this yandere cult I got caught up in. Okay, here's where things get a little crazy. At free time, I usually got sick of all the running and screaming, so I'd walk down to the beach to read my book alone. Ironically, I was reading Harry Potter at the time. It had nothing to do with the girls saying I resembled the main character, but I had just got my hands on the special Slytherin edition of the Philosopher's Stone, and you know your boy's gotta rep his house. Slytherin represent! I'm a pretty big introvert, and I really enjoyed my alone time. Just me, my book, the calming sound of the waves, and the girls hiding in the bushes to watch me. Wait, what? Yeah, according to my friends, a group of girls would sneak down after me and spend all of free time giggling and watching me from the bushes. How creepy is that? That's actual stalking. By the way, I don't know how anyone was still into me after that, because I was like picking my nose and laughing out loud at my book. I know I'm crazy, but these girls found out and it didn't dissuade them at all. Wild. Anyway, camp flies by and the week ends with a big fancy gala. Believe it or not, nobody brought their formal attire to camp. So we each grabbed whatever suits, ties, and top hats we could find from the costume bin and lined up for dinner. Being summer camp though, it couldn't be as straightforward as enjoying a nice gala before going home. There had to be a gimmick. The trick was only a select number of campers were on the entry list and everybody else had to come up with an excuse to get in. The validity of your excuse determined which table you got to sit at. I'll admit that's kind of fun. Lucky for me, I was on the list, and I got to strut past everyone directly to the fanciest table. Thinking back, I'm almost certain there was no list, and the counselor got to choose campers at random. There's no doubt this counselor was aware of my situation, so I'm guessing they felt bad for me and let me in out of pity. Oh well, a win is a win. Anyway, I sit down at the bougie table next to one of the guys from my cabin. I can tell he wants to say something, so I ask him, hey, what's up? He turns to me, completely serious, and says, "Listen, what I'm about to tell you may change your perception of reality. Prepare yourself, mortal, for if you hear what I have to say, you may not tell another soul, lest your bloodline suffer for eternity. Do you accept, valiant warrior?" Sure. Okay, well, I think you're a pretty freaking good-looking guy, and you should know that every girl in this camp is totally crushing on you right now. Alright, maybe I hammed it up a little, but he did really say that last part, and he was so serious about it, I can't help but laugh. I don't remember how I responded, but pretty soon after, we were packing up our things and getting ready to head home. I'm packing my bag and waiting for my mom to pick me up when the girl cabins execute their mission. One of the girls, who I talked to a couple times, asks me for my Snapchat, as is camp custom. I give it to her because what am I gonna do, say no? My anxiety would not allow it. She rejoins her group and starts handing out my information to everyone else. Friend requests stream into my phone. The girls close in. They look over at me with fire in their eyes, waiting for me to accept their friend requests. Right at that moment, the door swings open. I turn my mom straight around, sprint out the door, and we leave immediately. I did not accept any of those friend requests. Crisis averted. About a week later, I'm hanging out with those friends from school who were also at camp. They fill me in on all the stories I just told you, and they also tell me one more. Perhaps the most disturbing one of all. Whenever a week at camp ends, the campers are all required to fill out a little form talking about their experiences that week. What they liked, what they didn't, what they wanted more of, stuff like that. My friends told me that multiple girls wrote my name down as something they wanted more of, and one girl wrote my name down as the answer to every question. At first I thought they were messing with me, but my friends must have an underground network because they somehow procured a picture of this form. It was ghastly. It looked like a serial killer filled it out. My name was scrawled not just under every answer, but everywhere on the paper. Hopefully the girl who wrote that doesn't find this video, otherwise I might have to go under witness protection. Keep an eye out for a new channel called Sketches by Clyde, or something. After seeing that note and hearing all those stories, my memories of that week at camp suddenly became much more sinister. That noise coming from the bushes that I assumed was a squirrel, the girls asking me oddly targeted questions, everyone fawning over my cabin's boy band performance at the talent show, suddenly it all made sense, and I made a vow to never go back there. Until I did, as a counselor, but that's its own video. So I guess the moral of the story is camp crushes kinda ruin everything. Teenage teenage girls are insane, and I am unbelievably dense. Like, I didn't pick up on a single hint the entire week. In my defense, nobody spoke to me except for telling me that I look like Tom Holland. Like, was that really flirting? Am I oblivious, or is that just not a good way to hit on somebody? All right, that's enough of me rambling. That was a crazy week, but I don't think I'm the only one with wild stories of summer camp. So leave your most unhinged camping stories in the comments, and if I get enough, I'll compile them into their own video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, here are a couple other videos you might like.
If you watch them, you will be imbued with the divine knowledge of 1,000 suns. Now get out there with your weapons at the ready, like, comment, and survive.